Now we're in the cabin in a completely different state, and joining us as of about an hour and a half ago, Ryan Booth, who's going to be the
booth, as we like to call him.
Cinematographer on this shoot, and first time collaboration for you guys. Known each other.
Yeah, we've been trying to work on something for like a year now.
About a year, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been about a year we've been trying to lock something down, and just finally worked out.
So for you, as somebody who normally shoots a lot of your own stuff, how does this collaboration happen? What's,
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally not used to working with a DP. I mean, anybody who watched my show knows everything we do is super running gun, super low crew.
Right.
So Ryan's having to be a little bit patient with me because it's like, it's a bit of a learning curve. I'm very used to, and I'm very visual director, so I'm very used to like, this is exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. But I love the idea of having that, somebody like Ryan to come in with his own ideas, challenge my ideas, why that, and just make the piece 10 times better.
Let's talk about production design. And when did this all start? Because you said you plan a lot, and there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I had my crew building out these ideas for, 2 weeks, pretty much, just coming up with all these ideas of things. Who is Ned? And Josh was a big part of that because it's his character. So it's like, who is this guy? What sort of things is he into?
Right.
But he's super into this whole UFO idea and the conspiracies behind it. So of course he's going to have a board where he maps out everything.
Yeah.
And everything builds on top of that. It's like, who's this guy? What is he going to, like we talked about, what is he doing in this cabin? He rents it. Okay, well, let's build on top of that. Okay, he takes a shelf with this crazy stuff with him everywhere he goes. He's a bit off.
Right.
Well, what else would he have? And it's about building out, having fun with it and building it out in that way and giving reasons for everything, and then finding those little extra points that I think takes everything up a notch.
And this desk is not a normal size desk. Did you know you were going to be able to fill this desk, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I always wanted that sort of table. We thought we were going to have to rent it. Showed up at the location. It was
sitting right there.
Right there, and I was like, well, that's what I wanted, so that'll work out.
All right, cool. You have experience with Cinema EOS cameras.
Definitely.
And what have you shot with primarily in the past?
I shot 3 shorts in the fall, all C300.
Yeah.
And then I do some multicam work as well, which is usually C300s and C100s kind of mixed together. So,
okay.
And even if we're shooting on other camera systems, I find that there's always a C camera as an alt angle or something. We find a way to use it on pretty much.
So you have a lot of experience.
Ton of experience, yeah.
First time with the C100 Mark II.
Yeah, I hadn't even seen it before.
And I mean, there's some things about it that are definitely jumps over the original one. Image quality, the processor. Now that they've added some additional functionality in terms of frame rates and things like that, they have 2 different codecs. Also a higher bit rate, and we were talking about this AVC HD. So you can do 59.94 progressive, and then you could conform that as off-speed in post. But then there's also MP4. We were talking about this because I didn't know this when the camera came out. The MP4 and AVC HD are both based on H.264 and essentially the same codec. It's just one is in AVC HD in that private, in that wrapper. And then the MP4, a little easier to work with, a little more universal. And then there's some other choices in terms of bit rates. It's also how we get to conform 60p in camera. You have to do MP4 that way. So I don't know what choices you guys are going to be making. You normally shoot AVC HD because your original C100, and you are going to be, we'll talk about this in another video, recording externally.
Yes.
But are you going to be doing double system sound or single system on this?
We're doing single system. We're going right into cam.
Okay.
Yeah.
One advantage to AVC HD over MP4, and it doesn't mean that one is better than the other because we're using the same essentially compression, is that your audio is LPCM.
Right.
So that's how you're going to get the best quality audio. So
Right.
if you're going to be, are you guys shooting 24, I'm assuming?
Of course.
So if you're shooting 24 and you want the best quality audio, you're doing single system, then you probably want to do AVC HD 24 megabits. I know we're going to talk about lighting in another video, but maybe we can talk a little bit about this first setup and what you guys are deciding to do. So maybe you could hop behind the camera and do that, but can we get Josh in here maybe? That'd be cool.
Josh.
Cool.
Have a seat.
And you're going to look a lot different.
A lot.
Tomorrow. A lot different. All right, cool. Let's go back and talk about this a little bit. yeah, tell me a little bit about this first shot.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be the first shot of the whole film. Also, the first shot we'll shoot tomorrow. But basically, it's a long kind of establishing shot. And tomorrow, kind of when we're roughing in stuff, we knew Ryan knew he wanted to make this a shuttle pod shot moving down the length of the table. So tomorrow we'll add another section so that we can actually start on this side, kind of come down, see kind of all this crap that
Hi, Josh.
Ned has. And then we kind of find Ned and then kind of settle on a medium close-up here. So it kind of establishes kind of the universe he's choosing to live in and then kind of the place where he's actually living. And then we see him kind of as a character as he finishes up his web show. So for tonight, as we're kind of pre-lighting and roughing in things, we just put a section up so that we can kind of start to get the feel, see the corners of the room, start putting lights where we need to put them.
But it's a bigger move than this.
It will be a bigger move. It's actually going to be the length of the table.
So, I mean, I see right now you have sort of the kit lens for the C100 Mark II, the C100, a lens that I've used, a lot. I think you have shot tons of stuff on it.
Yeah.
And I know you like to use zooms.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys going to shoot with this particular lens for the project?
No, we're just actually using these to kind of rough in. We actually have 2 Canon compact zooms coming tomorrow, and then a 50 prime.
A Cine
Cine prime, yep.
Okay.
That's and those would be our primary lenses for this shoot.
50 wide so that you can go to a wider aperture?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it just gives us that option if we just need a little bit more. And I love 50 for a lot of the inserts and detail shots that we're going to be grabbing later. So I think for that we'll almost surely put the 50 on to grab a lot of the inserts.
But a lot of this stuff on the Canon,
zooms. On the compact zooms.
Cool.
Yep.
So you're pretty close, and there's obviously some finesse that has to go on here. How far away do you think you are in terms of lighting?
That's partly a Ryan question, but I would say probably 75 to 80%.
So enough that we can probably have a discussion about it for another video.
Definitely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Right on.
Cool.